Michelle Gray and Elisa Medhus. I'm going in the clockwise. And Denise Ramon and Jane MacDougall. The family is all here, the gang, and I'm so honored to have you guys all in one room, so to speak, virtual as it is. We are here to talk about the response, at least in part, the responsibility Atlantis Scalar peeps have for their own success in the energy work. Now, let me tell you the road I have traveled from the very beginning. I've learned a lot. So one thing I've learned recently is that reptilians and other things not aligned with the greatest good can sabotage the work. I mean, they will toss my email replies away to you guys, and didn't you do my work? I get that all the time, and so I have had to learn how to get rid of them around everyone, and then put up the golden shield of protection, and then that reptilians can get through some shit. They could get through from, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong. So I had to put up, according to Archangel Michael, the blue fire flame of justice shield that they cannot. And so that's brand new. And I integrate this into everybody's energy work from day one um, with something called the retrograde integration, where I go through several sequences with a certain script. And I do that weekly. So I put that in. But I've also learned that, there's the intent script is thought creates reality, right? Mm-hmm. That's physics. That is the collapse of the Schrodinger wave equation to change a light wave into a light particle, which is the building blocks of reality. Now, if a person's belief is that this is too good to be true, or I am not deserving of that, then it's a battle of wills, a battle between one intent and the other intent, as far as that collapse of the Schrodinger wave equation. So I've had to deal with that too. Let me see what I've had to deal with. And then, of course, contracts. Not only do people have contracts that could interfere with the success, but there's others in the family that have shared contracts with them that sometimes can be a problem. But we revoke as many as we can. And that's, but I also think that people don't understand that they are whole and part of God. They have their own amazing divinity. I'm trying to learn that too. And they need to stand up for themselves against all of just what I just said, and reclaim their sovereign power, reclaim their energy, and say, I am God, and I deserve to be so. I am divine, and I deserve this success. Blah 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 blah. Anyway, y'all are the experts. Y'all take it away.
We're the experts. Oh my. Uh,
Jane, you talk. You start. I'll
yeah.
just pick.
I think the one thing that I'd say is the role of free will in how the higher self works with somebody's energy field. What I've seen is that if a person holds a strong belief and they're willing to release it, the higher self can clear your energy field instantaneously.
Wow.
Yes.
But
Yes.
if an individual so identifies with a belief or an emotion that they're unwilling to let go of, or they don't know who they are without that belief or that emotion or that behavioral pattern, it's much more difficult to release. So what I'd say is a lot of this goes to your higher self can't violate your free will. The energy healer can't violate your free will. Elisa can't violate your free will. Eric can't violate your free will. If you as an individual have beliefs or emotions that you're holding on to that you don't want to let go of, they can't clear it for you. And so that's when, say, one of the energy healers would come in and we work with you to say, okay, you have this belief or this emotion and it's held here. And if you let it go, hand it over to your higher self, we can clear it. So that's my experience. I don't know what you guys think.
Michelle, you're shaking your head, but I want to say something first, that I have seen that in my own family. And, some people have a particular disease, for example, that they feel comfortable with. They know this disease. They know who they are with that disease. They don't want to let go of that victimhood. And dudes, y'all got to get rid of that shit. I'm telling you, get rid of it. You don't need to have hypertension or diabetes or anything like that. It is very self-sabotaging. Also, I want to give you another example with my own family. Christina has these two little dogs. They're so cute, Lilu and Gidget. I've done the behavioral correction on. and they've stopped drawing blood, fighting each other, but they still have this excessive barking. But yet this other people have done it on is overnight. Those dogs are changed. They are just not the excessive, not any annoying behavior or activity. And it's I asked Eric, and it's because Christina's husband and the housekeeper don't believe this is possibly going to correct that behavior. They believe so strongly. So I told them, go to Atlantis Scalar. Here's the channel. Look at some of the testimonials, and maybe they'll shift your perspective a little bit. Maybe it'll crack it open a bit. All right, Michelle, you were nodding your head yes a lot.
I was just agreeing what you were saying, Jane, makes so much sense, because the job that we do with healing is, you can have that conscious belief of, I want to be healed. I don't want to be sick anymore. I don't want to experience this anymore. I want abundance in my life. But if there is a pattern or belief system, like Jane was saying, that you're receiving something from. So for example, if you have an illness, and that illness is therefore allowing you in your pattern to not take responsibility in your life in some way, or is creating something for you, because we're always getting a need met in some way. We will always get our needs met. So if we have adapted a pattern in our life that has been going on for a very long time, we may not have that conscious awareness. And so the job of the energy healing is, if you're not having something that's clearing itself right away, and then we need to go in a little deeper and identify what exactly is going on. What is that pattern? What is the need that you're currently getting met? How have you been having your needs met? And what can we replace that with, so that things can start to move and shift? So there's all kinds of different reasons, again, contracts and all kinds of things that play in part with this entire process.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's like 96 point whatever percent is successful, but I want it all to be successful. Okay, that's really interesting. Denise, what do you have to say?
Well, I agree both with Jane and Michelle about that. I think, we do have this amazing thing called free will. And because we have this, nobody can evade that, like intrude in that if we don't allow it. So it's about the person who's getting the work, for them to, yes, they want to be healed, but then they probably don't believe this. And when you're talking about your daughter with the dogs, I got right away is those puppies pick up on the vibration. So the anticipation of their behavior is going to happen, and the puppies pick up on that. So this is what happens, and you don't have to know how it works or why it works. It's just being in alignment that you want to be healed. And this is an avenue that has been brought to you as a clearing path. And when this stuff happens, also it frees up the energies, what I see within the body, to flow everything in there, because it's like a whole city inside of us. When things come up, not to go to your normal habit of eating a cookie, going shopping, or sleeping forever. It's like, just go in, like, what is it that's coming up? Because things will come up. And it's like, almost like make peace with it, like examine what it is that's going on, instead of something must be wrong, it didn't work, it's not going to work. It's like, I feel like we've been taught how to, as a society, when uncomfortableness comes up, we've got to fix it with food, medication, running away, whatever, instead of just going, oh, wow, this is coming up for me. This must pertain to the work that Elisa has done on me. Let's see what it's bringing up for us. And I'm getting that when you do that kind of work, even like the kind of work with Jane or Michelle or I, when you do that, it really helps it to pass real quickly. And you don't have to go in there and drudge up 10 years worth of crap and know what it is to let it go. And it's just like, oh, this is the stuff, and it's like being gentle with yourself, I think is a big key. And, it's just being gentle, just loving yourself.
And also, to what Denise is saying, I've seen that when clearing happens, when we go in and clear, It's almost like we clear to the state of consciousness or maybe a little bit higher. But say you're working through the frequency of anger. Yeah. You might clear the frequency of anger, in 3D or 4D, but it's not as polarized. It's much more subtle, but maybe you're still clearing at the 5D level or the
Oh.
6D level even. So the issue may keep repeating. So when you come to an energy healer, we clear to the level of consciousness you are, but as you continue to expand, as you continue to raise your vibration, you're going to bump up against new barriers, and then you just need to clear those as you go
Onion
high.
skin. Yeah, just like peeling away the skin of the
Yes,
onion.
yes.
So, is there anything that I can write in my script to overcome, to have to do something about free will or anything? I'm wondering if there's anything I can add.
I'm getting that's the ownership of the person that's coming for
Yeah.
the work, that they have to take ownership. And that is like what I'm hearing, that's like their 1% of what they need to do.
Oh, okay.
And,
Yeah.
and that in itself is that 1% can feel like for the people who are doing it, and I just speak even for myself, that 1% can feel like I'm doing it all.
Yeah. Well, I know in my experience, it seems like people who come to Atlantis Scalar are nudged. I mean, very few of them just stumble upon it. They're
Yeah.
usually nudged by Eric or the guardian angel or their guides or something. I don't know why I'm here, but that sort of thing. And y'all got to realize that they want you to get well and be all that you can be. And we're break out the song here. Um, so you hopefully will honor that. Is there anything else? Is there other mantras people can repeat or something they can say to sort of slowly eat away at that perspective?
I'm getting there are mantras, or just even listening to some healing type music. And I'm also being shown also like clear away, like just one thing out of your diet that that's not healthy for you, because a lot of that stuff is meant to keep us weighed down so
Yeah.
that we don't get up into that higher frequency of stuff. So it's like cut out one thing. So if you're used to eating 10 cookies a day, knock it down to where you're only eating 3 cookies a day or something. Just start knocking it down.
Process
Because,
it. Yeah.
yeah, because really this isn't made to be difficult or hard. It's our thought process that makes it difficult and hard.
Yeah.
And it's not a punishment, it's a loving thing. And if we can see it as that, and it's like prepare, it's like you prepare when you go on vacation. You wash clothes, you pack them and do all this other stuff. It's no different than this, but this it's you don't really have to touch anything. You just have to get your mind in that space, like you're doing something good for you. So what do I need to prepare myself? And I'm also hearing that's like when you do your work, if the sitter would also prepare for your work, they would see a much bigger difference, and they could probably feel the work being done. I know when you did work on me, I didn't even know you were doing work on me in that moment, but I could feel something was going on with me. And then when I found out, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense why I felt it.
Yeah. So, do you think that would be wise for people? I think it'd be a good idea for them to go to a medium like one of you guys, or of course, get the energy healing, but uh, channel the higher self to find out what the higher self is like. Dude, let go of the higher self can maybe validate some things or give information or instructions to the person too. Maybe.
I think that would be helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For some, yeah.
And I think, well,
Go ahead, Jane.
But I'm sorry.
Who's going to talk? Who's going to talk?
Jane, go ahead.
okay.
Go ahead, Jane.
I was just going to say that it's people can learn to connect to their higher selves by themselves and through themselves, and that's the most sacred connection. And I think that's really important, that people have the confidence to connect to themselves and get answers through themselves and trust that and use that energy to guide them. It might start very slowly at first, but it does snowball and grow over time the more you trust and the more you surrender. So for me, that's a big thing for me to tell people to start connecting and asking their own questions and finding their way. It's an easy, safe way to expand. And then it takes you through discernment and boundaries. And, so I like that.
I do,
Sorry.
and you teach it so well using the pranic tube. And so we need to have a session, a YouTube on that. How to connect to your higher self. What do you say? I think it would be really important, and that would be one step toward regaining your, reclaiming your energy, standing in your sovereign power by having an intimate relationship with your higher self. Maybe.
The other thing too is to remember that, I've had a lot of people that have talked about fear, and they say, well, I'm afraid of the changes, or I'm afraid of what I'm going to be asked of, feeling that responsibility is something outside of them, that somebody is holding something over them saying you must change to have this. And that's not the case at all. That to remember that, we're here existing on earth, and the other part of our soul or our spirit, it's us. It's us that's doing this, and that we will never be given a situation that we don't have the power within us to do.
Yeah.
To take care of. So whatever is being presented is something that is meant to carry you through to the very best version of you in every single step. So
Absolutely.
let go of the fear. It's okay.
So what if somebody is has diabetes, and another family member doesn't believe that will work? Can that interfere with success? I know it could on the dogs, but in Christina's case, but or not.
It depends on how much that person takes in account, how much effect that other person has on them.
Oh yeah.
That's what I got to, how much influence.
Okay. Well, don't let people just, run ramshot of you people. You are your own sovereign power. You are a whole and part of God. So anyway, anything else you guys want to, any other words of advice? I mean, it works. This shit works.
And this is what I get. This work is very sacred, what you do. And when I say that, I'm hearing all our work is very sacred, but with them doing this scalar energy work, it's like they ought to treat this more like a ceremony of something special that they're doing for themselves. And so let's say somebody knows that they're going to have a session this Friday with you. They ought to start on, say, Tuesday, start going into like ceremony mode or something, prepping for this. It's kind of like you don't show up for your wedding on the wedding day, and I'm hearing like, yes, some do, but mostly you do. You do prepare on something, you put on makeup, you have a suit or whatever the situation may be, you prepare. This is no different. This is like a ceremony that's being done. So it's like each person ought to sit with what can they do to prepare for this, to make it be more at ease and more comfort. And when you talk about the fear and stuff like that, it's acknowledge that there's fear, like I'm scared, I don't know what's going to happen after this, and just get into start getting into the ceremony part of it. If it's like spending 30 minutes reading a book, listening to some music, and connecting with oneself. And I name my higher self, so when I talk, I know that that's exactly who I'm talking to. I call my higher self Grace, just because I like name and it just helps me. So if it's lighting a candle at 12 o'clock or doing something that's just for you in preparation for this work that you're doing for them, because what they're showing me, you are doing a lot of work on your end for this, for the person. So it's like when you both are in unison with preparing for this, it can be very powerful. And if you have doubts or whatever, just acknowledge those doubts. I mean, we all have doubts, don't we, Jane and Michelle?
God, yeah.
I
But I
know.
want everybody to consider this a very precious and, like Denise said, a sacred gift to yourself. Because on my end, it takes a long time, people. It's very exhausting work. I spend probably 14 hours a day, 7 days a week, and just rarely take off, but I enjoy it. So there's that. But consider it a sacred gift to yourself and one that
Yeah.
you deserve, right?
That's-
And also, maybe we should consider this. This just popped into me. Consider that you might be a part of something bigger to bring this technology out to the masses so that people aren't all on medication and chemotherapy and, you know, all the Western medicine that may not be really necessary. I mean, you may be bringing this helping lead the way to bring this technology to the masses. It's so safe and
we
um,
all
so
are.
effective.
We all are. Everyone
Yeah.
is.
Yes.
Everyone watching this, everyone participating. We all are.
I got the same thing too, Michelle.
Mhm.
All right, guys. So go to the Atlantis Scalar YouTube channel and watch some stuff to watch some of the video testimonials so you be a little bit more inspired. All right. Thank you, guys. Love
Thank
you.
you. Love you.
Love you
Love all of
guys.
you. Bye.
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 Mwah. See you later, Jane.